Greetings, everyone. Remarkable Republican here to bring you the truth with truth-flavored bias. And today I would like to talk about the fall of the Roman Empire. It's been a surprisingly controversial topic, and it has a lot of significance for modern politics since there seem to be left and right-wing versions of why the Roman Empire fell. One of the most common left-wing versions is by Edward Gibbons, who lived in the 1800s and said that Christianity was the cause of the fall of the Roman Empire. Well, that obviously isn't true, and I've always thought that any other explanation must be preferable. And finally, the other day I was looking around and I found a work by a really prominent historian, and he comes up with an explanation that is a lot more plausible. So let's take a look at what he has to say. Roberto De Mattei is an Italian historian. He has a PhD. He focuses on history from the 16th to the 20th century, and he focuses on what is known as intellectual history, which is basically the history of the most intelligent people living at a given time. And anyway, he is also someone who served in the Italian government from 2003 to 2011. He was the deputy head of the country's National Research Council. And basically, he has a whole explanation for the fall of Rome, which is something that is both original and compelling since it has a ton of evidence to support it. And he says that the roots for Rome's decline and fall were actually set in place after the fall of Carthage. So right after Rome beat Hannibal and they took over Africa, they took over areas that had been, basically infected with homosexuality, and this homosexuality had really weakened their societies. And that's part of why Hannibal was unable to beat Rome, is that many of his men had become morally bankrupt and they had lost a lot of their vigor and their valor. Now, once Rome set up shop in Africa, they had a regional capital at the city of Cartagena. And then from there, a lot of Romans would move there and then move back to Italy and all across the empire. And they would slowly but surely spread this cultural infection until it afflicted everyone in the empire. De Mattei's explanation makes a lot of sense. We know that when Constantine and the other early Christian emperors set up shop, that the Romans were very morally bankrupt and in need of a lot of help, and that many of them felt deep guilt. It's also very possible that Augustine, who suffered from deep guilt and was a North African Christian, was in fact a homosexual, and that much of his guilt stemmed from being a homosexual. And in De Mattei's version of events, what happens is the Romans, who have mostly become gay and debauched, could not stand up to the barbarians when they invaded. The barbarians were vigorous and manly and had not been corrupted morally, so they were better able to fight. Anyway, I think that De Mattei's explanation is correct. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This has been Remarkable Republican, bringing you the truth with truth-flavored bias, signing out.